Every second, every single moment of the day, trillions of dollars move across the network. This isn't done by humans or manual labor. It is done by something much, much faster, while the world sleeps in total silence. The machine is calculating every single possibility. $1 trillion vanished. $1 trillion vanished. No human touched it. It started in labs with mathematicians. Built in labs by brilliant mathematicians. They didn't trade, they engineered dominance. They engineer dominance with every move. Speed is the new currency of the network. Speed is absolute power in this world. The machine never stops, day or night. It sees everything early. The law is too slow to catch the code. Now it learns alone, engineering its own logic. Unmatched returns for those who control it. One error, collapse. Even nature becomes a factor. It was the machine that reacted first. And then humans disrupted it. Yet most trades remain unseen. But now it hunts alone. This is the next evolution. Soon, everything becomes data. This isn't just the future. The machine is already running. Every second, trillions of dollars move. Trillions of dollars move, not by human hands, but by code. By something faster, colder, and invisible. This is the algorithm that decides who wins. It never sleeps and it never hesitates. While the world rests, the machine is always calculating. While the world rests, the machine is calculating, and every calculation reshapes the global economy. A handful of companies built it. Fewer still truly understand it, and almost no one controls it. It moves faster than light. It trades in microseconds before you finish blinking. This is high-frequency trading at its most dangerous. The 2010 flash crash lasted 36 minutes. $1 trillion vanished. No one pushed the button. The algorithm did it. The crash happened in minutes. It started in universities, in basements, in garages. The best mathematicians on Earth were recruited, not to cure disease, to conquer markets. They called themselves quants, armed with physics and logic. Armed with physics degrees and cold logic, they rewrote the rules of wealth. The financial world would never be the same. Algorithms now execute over 70% of all trades on Wall Street. They detect patterns invisible to human eyes. They act on information before humans can read it. Speed is everything. A microsecond advantage is worth billions. A microsecond advantage is worth billions. Firms spend hundreds of millions laying private cable routes. Shaving time, buying power, the gavel falls. By 2005, the machines had taken the floor. By 2010, they ran it. The connection was total. Today, they are the market, deep in the heartland. The screaming traders are gone. Time has shifted. The open outcry pits, silenced. Only machines remain. In their place, cold, silent intelligence. Chicago, the birthplace of derivatives. The switch is on. The home of futures. A single window stays lit. Now the proving ground for the most aggressive trading algorithms ever built. This city doesn't sleep, neither does the code. Every algorithm begins as an idea, a museum of chaos. A theory, a hypothesis tested against decades of data. Most fail, a few become gods, the cursor blinks. Backtesting, thousands of simulations run against historical data. The algorithm learns from every market crash, every rally, every panic. It evolves, it adapts, it gets smarter, the scan continues. 30-year veterans walked out, the flow has changed. Their instincts, worthless against microsecond precision. Experience couldn't compete with computation. The most powerful trading algorithms operate from hidden locations. Iceland, Singapore, New Jersey, undisclosed. Close to the exchange, far from regulators. The algorithm never stops for time zones. Tokyo open feeds into London. London bleeds into New York. The machine trades them all, simultaneously. The algorithm reads faster than any human. It parsed the Fed's rate decision before the press conference ended. It had already traded before the anchors could speak. They buy satellite data, crop yields, shipping movements. They count cars in parking lots to predict quarterly earnings before the company reports. Information is the weapon, data is the ammunition, alternative data is the new edge. Weather patterns, credit card transactions, shipping manifests. The algorithm sees the economy. It's before the economy knows. Regulators are trying to catch up, but the code moves faster than legislation. By the time the law is written, the algorithm has already evolved. Former insiders tried to warn them. They described a system rigged against ordinary investors. A speed race no human could enter. In 2014, a book changed the conversation. Michael Lewis called it rigged. Wall Street called it innovation. The truth was, somewhere in the code no one could read. One man tried to fight back. Alternative data is the new edge. Sentiment is scored. Weather patterns, credit card transactions, shipping manifests. The algorithm sees the economy way before the economy knows. Regulators are trying to catch up. The signal moves on. But the code moves faster than legislation. Danger alerts flash. By the time the law is written, the algorithm has already evolved. Former insiders tried to warn them. DC watches from above. They described a system rigged against ordinary investors. A speed race no human could enter. Redacted truths. In 2014, a book changed the conversation. The CEO sits. Michael Lewis called it rigged. Wall Street called it innovation. The truth was, somewhere in the code no one could read. One man tried to fight back. The auditorium is packed. He built a 38-mile coil of cable to slow the machines down. 350 microseconds, the speed bump heard around the world. The battle was never between traders, it was between architectures, between algorithms, invisible to everyone outside the machine. Then came the next evolution, machine learning, tension rises, algorithms that taught themselves to trade, a new dawn. Systems that wrote their own strategies and without human instruction. The algorithm doesn't need a programmer anymore. It adapts. It learns by doing, it fails, adapts, dominates, harbor mist. A self-improving financial mind running in the dark. The returns are staggering, the wealth incomprehensible. Renaissance technologies average 66% annual returns. No human fund manager has come close. Submerged logic. Jim Simons, mathematician, Codebreaker, billionaire, simulation. He didn't study markets, he studied patterns in noise, reward. And in that noise, he found an algorithm that changed everything. The first quant funds hired astrophysicists and cryptographers, people who had never traded a single share, cascading green, because the market to them was simply a signal problem, success. They gather in secret twice a year, the most powerful traders. What is said in those rooms stays in those rooms, signing off. For every rule proposed, there are 50 lawyers fighting it. The algorithm has powerful protectors. The trophies are gold. Regulation has been slow, intentionally so, steep gains. In 2008, algorithms amplified the collapse. Satoukit dawn. They detected fear before humans admitted it existed. Booting. They sold automatically and accelerating the freefall. Lab ruins. The crisis taught us the machine has no empathy. Silence. No sense of consequence. No fear of collapse. Signal problem. It trades with absolute remorseless logic. Departure. This is only the beginning. The summit is set. The new generation arrived with more processing power than entire governments. Their models didn't follow the market. Ultimately, they created the market themselves. New York to London in 59 milliseconds. A dedicated cable that cost $300 million to build. Purpose-built for one thing, to win by nanoseconds. London, the second pillar of global algorithmic power, where European capital meets American speed, a junction point in the world's financial nervous system. Every algorithm has a kill switch, in theory. The 2012 Knight Capital disaster proved no one always uses it in time. "45 minutes, $440 million gone." A software deployment error sent the algorithm into a buying frenzy. Ultimately, Knight Capital never recovered. Co-location, the art of paying to be physically closer to the exchange. Rackspace sells for $1 million a year. The closer you are, the faster you trade. When fiber wasn't fast enough, they turned to microwave. Chicago to New York in 8.5 milliseconds, 4 milliseconds faster than fiber. Rain, fog, trees in the way, weather becomes a financial variable. Now they're looking at space, low-orbit satellite constellations. The race has left the planet. Geometry is profit. The shortest path means millions in edge. They've mapped the Earth in microseconds. The math behind the machine is breathtaking. Equations built to price uncertainty. The options market is where the algorithms are most dominant. A human cannot process this space. $7.5 trillion traded every day. The algorithm operates in a space that governs sovereign currencies. Even government bonds are now dominated by algorithms. When it breaks, the entire system shakes. October 15th, 2014. For 12 minutes, algorithms fed on each other. No news, no reason. Cascading algorithms create feedback loops of fear, a spiral of logic that mimics panic. Then artificial intelligence entered. Deep learning found patterns no human ever would. AI replaced the programmer. Systems that evolved strategies autonomously. Black boxes. The problem, no one can explain why the AI makes certain trades. It works, but no one knows why. Five firms that control a significant fraction of global trading volume, shaping every market you participate in. Virtue reported 1,238 profitable days in a row. Not skill, not luck, architecture. Every time an ordinary person buys a stock, an algorithm is on the other side, invisible and staggering. Free trading isn't free. Your order is sold before it reaches the market. The algorithm sees your trade first. The greatest threat is another algorithm. Arms races fought in code, in silence, at machine speed. Spoofing, faking demand to move prices. Algorithms built to detect it, and some built to do it. The order book is a battlefield of deception. Human eyes can't see it, only another algorithm can. The SEC built its own algorithm to catch theirs, a machine watching a machine. The irony is not lost. The BIS and IMF have issued warnings. The people who run the architecture are afraid. Circuit breakers, the emergency stop, the pause only delays the inevitable reckoning. Every firm has a shadow market ready, because in algorithmic trading, downtime is death. March 2020, the fastest bear market in history. Algorithms read the headlines and ran. The algorithm processed pandemic before the word was declared, a machine deciding financial devastation. Only one thing stopped the machine: the Fed. The central bank fought the algorithm with another algorithm. The market recovered in record time. Reality had been decoupled from finance. The architecture is irreversible. We built something we can no longer afford to stop. When it goes wrong at machine speed. Faster than a human can react. Faster than a kill switch can respond. The first sign of disaster is already the aftermath. May 6, 2010, 2:32 p.m. Eastern Time. A single algorithm placed a trade that triggered a cascade. Within minutes, $1 trillion in market value had evaporated. No explanation for what was happening. Procter & Gamble, a 170-year-old company, briefly traded at 1 cent. The algorithms had removed all bids from the market. For a moment, there was nothing, just machines in free fall. The market recovered, but the investigation took 5 years. And the true cause remained disputed, because the event happened below the threshold of human comprehension. In 2015, authorities arrested a lone trader from Hounslow, England, Navinder Sarao, operating from his childhood bedroom. They blamed him for helping cause the flash crash, alone in a house. The question haunted markets. Could one person really do this? Or was the algorithm always unstable, waiting for any trigger? The machine may have been the real culprit, all along. Dark pools, private exchanges where trades are hidden from the public market. Algorithms trade here, invisibly, before prices are revealed. Over 40% of US equity volume occurs in darkness. In 2014, Barclays was sued for lying to clients about their dark pool, telling investors it was safe, while predatory algorithms fed on their orders. The machine was eating its own customers. While the algorithms made fortunes for the few, inequality deepened. The S&P 500 tripled. Wages grew 10%. The machine was efficient, but it was not built for the many. It was not equitable. The gap between Wall Street and Main Street grew. Economists call it alpha extraction. The algorithm extracts value from the market continuously, concentrating it at the top. an engine of inequality, a machine concentrating wealth at the very top. Then the algorithm moved to crypto. No regulation, no circuit breakers, no trading halts, a perfectly unguarded playground for the most aggressive machines ever built. In DeFi, the algorithm doesn't just trade, it raids. Flash loan attacks, MEV bots, sandwich attacks, forms of algorithmic predation. That didn't exist 5 years ago. FTX ran its own algorithms against its own customers, a betrayal of code, a machine turned inward, consuming its own users. $8 billion gone. A staggering $8 billion evaporated into thin air. Gone in mere weeks, an entire ecosystem destroyed. January 2021, a Reddit army challenged the machines, the GameStop squeeze, buying GameStop, not for value, but for chaos, breaking the logic. For a moment, humans broke the algorithm's cold and rigid logic. The algorithm's logic. Then Robinhood halted trading, protecting its partner, Citadel Securities. The retail traders were locked out. The doors were slammed shut. The machine protected. The system defended its own interests. A massive wall of billions in collateral demanded overnight. The humans were effectively cut off. The GameStop moment revealed the architecture of control, a global outcry. When ordinary people gained real power, the system simply shut them out. A social media firestorm. The algorithm has allies, powerful ones. Powerful and well-protected allies in high places. The hearings began once again. Same questions, different technology, the same result followed. Congress had been asking about algorithmic risk for many years. They were testing their authority for 15 years. A decade and a half of warnings and inaction. The center of power. The machinery of government trying to understand. Nothing changed. The firms hired the lobbyists who wrote the rules. Empty halls. In Washington, the corridors are long and the memories of past crises are remarkably short. The algorithm had already won before the ink on the laws was dry. Unchanged, unfettered, the machine continues its silent work. Europe tried harder with MiFID II and EMIR. They built a thicket of complex new rules. The algorithms adapted, faster than the regulators could ever write. The law remains a slow and heavy machine in a fast-moving, high-frequency algorithmic world. Is a slower machine, a paper shield against a storm of code. China built its own algorithms, state-backed, opaque, powerful, operating in vast markets that the West doesn't fully access. Opaque, efficient, and state-backed. Two algorithmic superpowers locked in an invisible, silent embrace, are each watching the other's machine with unblinking digital eyes. The new front in financial warfare is invisible, probing, testing, learning patterns, learning the structure of the enemy's algorithm, a game of digital cat and mouse, the Cold War of code, a battle fought in microseconds across the global network. Invisible lines drawn in the sand, infrastructure protected at the level of nations. Quantum computing is the coming disruption, a shift that will rewrite every rule. Algorithms that don't just move fast, but process every market state simultaneously. The machine isn't just evolving anymore, it's transforming into something new, transforming the very fabric of how we value time, risk, and capital. The first working quantum trading algorithm will be the most powerful financial tool built. Every existing encryption will be breakable. Every edge will become obsolete. The race is already underway, and the stakes couldn't be any higher. The deepest fear of global regulators, synchronization, a single unified mind, all algorithms learning the same patterns, moving together in the same direction. In the same direction at the same time. A stampede of machines at the same time. A global synchronized risk that no one can outrun. If the algorithms all learn the same strategy, they create the same exit. A door too small for the market to pass through. A collapse in seconds. A single failure that quickly becomes everyone's failure, modeling the end. That becomes everyone's failure. A global cascade of machines. What happens when the physical infrastructure fails? Power grid attack, blackout, a solar flare. The algorithm has no contingency for the physical world, and its inevitable structural damage. Breaking, simulating the end of the world as we know it. Human suffering is an algorithmic opportunity, a data point in a storm. Wars, famines, pandemics, natural disasters, patterns detected in real time. Each one, a data point, a pattern, a profitable trade for the machine, executing perfectly, indifferent to the human cost on the ground. Now, the algorithm has been weaponized for ESG and sustainable investing, managed by machines optimizing for profit, not necessarily for the planet. Green on the surface, pure cold calculation underneath the green veneer. Cold underneath, clean energy built on the foundation of dirty speed. The next wave, large language models reading the entire financial world. Every earnings call, every report, every news article, processed instantly. Processed. Every single word converted into a signal. Traded. A machine that now understands and weaponizes human language. The risk models are flashing yellow. A storm building on the horizon. Not red yet, but the systemic vulnerability is climbing. But the people inside the machine are watching very carefully. Watching very carefully. Controlled concern at the highest levels. The algorithm is now classified infrastructure, protected like military assets. Because when it fails, nations feel it. The ultimate security layer. Because when it fails, nations feel it. So it must be protected at all costs. Infrastructure, classified, a new domain of national security. The intelligence community and finance have merged. Former spies now protect financial algorithms. The line between national security and market security completely erased. An ecosystem of veterans from the intelligence community, now in the private sector. The merge is complete. The NSA and the financial world are now one. Below the surface of every financial decision you have ever made, it was there, running the invisible rails of modern capitalism. You never voted for it. You never chose it. Invisible, silent, always operating in the background of your life. Unaware. The city below sleeps while the machine runs the world from above. Every trade you make is a meal for the algorithm. You are a participant, but not a player. The market was always the machine's game. Every fraction of a cent is accounted for. The game, a complex system where you are the product, not the player. Participant, a single data point in a vast, interconnected web of control. The reckoning isn't a future event. It is happening in microseconds right now. And the machine is still learning. Microseconds, patterns, control, always learning. Learning, evolving, becoming something more, something faster. Dominant, remote, cold, and in complete control of the world below. We have arrived at a threshold. The algorithm is not a tool anymore, it is the system itself. The future is not coming, it is already being traded. Algorithms pricing the world of 2040 today. Carbon credits, water rights, sovereign AI capacity. The algorithm is now pricing nature itself. Forests, oceans, glaciers, each assigned a financial value, a world traded by a machine that has never seen a tree. The autonomous fund is here, no portfolio manager, no research team, no human decision, just the algorithm, running, learning, compounding. The algorithm is now generating financial theory faster than humans can evaluate it. Publishing research, finding arbitrage in academic knowledge. The student has surpassed every teacher. The algorithm is expanding its domain. African markets, South Asian exchanges, Southeast Asian growth corridors. The machine is colonizing the financial frontier. India, 1 billion participants entering the algorithm's reach. The next chapter will be written here, in code, in speed, in scale unimaginable. When every currency is digital, every transaction becomes data. CBDC gives the algorithm total economic visibility. It will see every purchase, every pattern, every human financial choice. The final step, programmable money controlled by autonomous algorithms. No bank required, no human approval, money that moves on its own logic. Voices are rising. Can we govern what we cannot see? Can we align a financial AI that no single entity owns? The race is not just for profit anymore. It is a race to determine who controls the controller, to answer who does the algorithm serve. A new generation of quants is asking different questions. Not just can it be built, but should it be? Not just does it profit, but at whose cost? Some who built it are now trying to fix it. The architects of the algorithm, the funding its reform, because they know what it can become if left unchecked. The next generation will be born into this world. For them, algorithmic markets are not a disruption. They are the baseline. Will they understand what they've inherited? A counter-architecture is being built, decentralized, transparent, governed by code, but owned by no one. Whether it is better remains the defining question. Two algorithmic worlds on a collision course, centralized power versus distributed anarchy, both driven by code, neither answerable to the citizen. Nations have become algorithmic investors. Sovereign wealth funds, trillions of dollars, run by systems. The algorithm now manages the retirement of entire countries. Even the algorithm is being asked to go green. Data centers powered by renewable energy. A machine that trades carbon credits while trying to reduce its own. The final frontier for the algorithm: space. Trading from orbit, latency reduced to physics alone, the speed of light, the last barrier left to break. Quantum supremacy in finance will change everything. The firm that achieves it first will possess unbreakable market advantage. Every other algorithm, instantly obsolete. The world's central bankers are preparing, not for the next recession, for a paradigm shift they may not be able to manage. Behind closed doors, they're running scenarios. What happens when a quantum algorithm breaks the market? The answer is classified. But somewhere, someone is building something different. An algorithm not designed to extract, designed to distribute. A machine that serves the many, not just the few. The algorithm was always neutral. It pursued what it was told to pursue. If told to serve the world, it would. The machine can be reprogrammed. The question is whether those with power will allow it, whether the algorithm that controls markets will ever be made to serve people. We built a global nervous system, powered by algorithms, connected every market, every currency, every asset on Earth. There is no going back, only forward. The algorithm is becoming democratic, not because power chose to share it, but because the next generation is learning to take it. The market that algorithms created is more liquid, more efficient, and more accessible than ever before. That is the promise. The peril lives in who holds the code. It is running right now, in data centers on 6 continents, trading, learning, evolving without pause. The next breakthrough is weeks away, or months, or years, but it is coming. And when it arrives, the algorithm will never be the same. In every data center, a human built what runs there. In every line of code, a human chose what to prioritize. The algorithm has no soul, but its creators do. Every broken system was built by people. Every broken system can be rebuilt by people. The algorithm is not fate, it is a choice. The secret algorithm controlling global markets is not a mystery. It is a mirror. It reflects exactly what we chose to build and what we chose to ignore. Every morning, the market opens. Every morning, the algorithm resumes. The question, the only question that matters, is who is it working for? Inside the secret algorithm controlling global markets, there is no secret, only the sum of every choice we've ever made running at the speed of light.